The Passaic River is already at 7.5 feet. That's just a half a foot above flood stage. And with this rain, it is expected to rise until 10.5 feet and not crest until Friday. That's why at the entrances, it literally looks like a landslide just to get in. The crew isn't just taking care of what's happening inside the house, they're also working on the outside appearance. Here, they're measuring the distance between the rails. There are more than 3,000 construction workers covering every square foot of the World Trade Center site every day. And one woman said when she opened the door to her car, she felt like she was going to get sick immediately from the smell. Within the opening of this blood drive today, there have been an influx of people signing up, which is really important. The Blood Center of New Jersey estimates they lost about 400 pints of blood because of Hurricane Irene. But it's also dangerous. Take a look at this tree. This was uprooted from the ground on Sunday, and it is still sitting here. So not only do neighbors here have to be cautious, since December, one person has been taking care of these apple crops, making sure they're ready for people to pick. The streets of Paterson are still covered with remnants of Hurricane Irene. Many residents still evacuated and their ruined belongings waiting for pickup while Hurricane Lee showers North Jersey with even more wet weather. The second day of rain comes as FEMA says 19,000 people have already filed flood damage claims. Murray King is one of them.
The house is just destroyed. And now they're talking about the river going to rise again. And we might have to pump out again.
The National Weather Service says the Passaic River is already at 7.5 feet. That's just a half a foot above flood stage. And with this rain, it is expected to rise until 10.5 feet and not crest until Friday.
41 years I've been living here, and I've never seen it this bad.
King's home received at least 1.5 feet of water on the first floor, destroying his fridge and stove. He lives down the street from the Straight Street Bridge, one of the bridges closed from this latest rainfall. Nearby, parts of Presidential Boulevard are also blocked off.
My parking lot is filled with gook. It stinks really bad. I'm just watching the store across the street from my home, and the church is cleaning out.
Command posts are set up throughout the city. This one has PSE&G crews on hand to fix power outages. There's also stations for charging phones and using the internet. Just this week, FEMA also planted the state's first disaster recovery center at 2 Market Street.
We've had about 100 visitors over 3.5 days, and we expect that number to grow.
So far, FEMA has dispersed about $4.1 million in flood recovery assistance. Today, the Senate is voting on appropriating an additional $5 million to buy out flooded homes. With today's rain, it's a solution enticing to even lifelong residents.
I feel like if it's flood again, I'm out. I just give up. It's nothing else I can do.
Here at this bridge in Paterson, we're right off Broadway. You can see the water is so close to the bridge. It's pretty much above flood stage already. And these rising waters are affecting Route 20 in Paterson that leads to Clifton, as well as Route 46 in Lodi. Again, the rivers are not expected to crest until Friday. Reporting in Paterson, I'm Lisa Wojtycki for WNBC News.
We go back now to Lisa Wojtycki, who's reporting from one of the hardest hit communities in New Jersey.
In Milburn Township in Essex County, down lines as well as massive flooding has caused businesses along the major thoroughways here to be out of power. You can see the business behind me is emptying out their space because they are completely flooded out. Here's what else happened around town. Tree branches entangled in power lines, live wires sitting in the ground taped off in the middle of quiet neighborhoods who have no electricity, businesses sandwiching chairs outside their doors, and mudslides welcoming visitors in the entranceways. Hurricane Irene is giving the upscale community of Milburn a whole new look.
Our other major problem is we also have a water droppage in pressure in areas of the community, and the entire town is on at least for the next 48 hours a boil alert warning.
Now, also in Millburn, there were literally no exceptions to Mother Nature's wrath. Not only are so many people here without power, but let's say they want to travel here, which is Main Street and Church Street. They can't do it because you can see the road has been literally ripped apart and come out of the ground. Just steps away, you can see this fence took a hard punch from Irene. On the same street, the fire department is stationed next to a downed power line and fallen debris. In total, 600,000 people in New Jersey are without power. This is also affecting traffic. Lights are still not functioning, and with so many downed trees, expect to see more tractor trailers on the road. The power companies and municipalities are aiming for Wednesday for normalcy to be restored. Reporting in Millburn, I'm Lisa Wojtycki for WNBC News.
As Lisa Wojtycki reports, while the floodwaters may be receding, the public health threat is ballooning.
Goodbye table. Goodbye couch. Goodbye house. Goodbye car. It's far from a fairy tale and more like a nightmare. Residents in Danville are parting with major belongings as they clean out from Hurricane Irene. But how they do it can be key to preserving their health.
We might be seeing a lot of gastrointestinal illnesses associated to this, because if there's water contamination, that's a possibility that we will see.
The residents on Spruce Place come by day to clean up, and by night they sleep elsewhere. Wearing protective gloves, hand washing, and showering often are key. This house looks quaint from the outside, but look inside Grandma and Grandpa's nest. You'll see it's been turned upside down. Wet carpets and antique furniture are marked by the water levels.
I'm concerned about the bacteria, the mold growing. My whole house downstairs has been destroyed. We have nothing inside downstairs.
So right now I'm standing in a former office. You can see the conditions here are pretty deplorable. Outside of these houses, homeowners are telling me they've seen dead goldfish, dead chipmunks, and one woman said when she opened the door to her car, she felt like she was going to get sick immediately from the smell.
Today we're going to take some of the sheetrock down and start pulling the insulation out so we don't get mold, hopefully.
Dan is helping his parents, Ellie and Tom, who've lived here for 38 years. Yesterday, they ripped out carpeting, and today they're ripping out the insulation from the walls.
You can see the water line was up to here. So we got it all out. The floor is already buckling.
The backyard pond reminds them how this all happened, but it also brings concern about bug bites and viruses.
At this point, we are not worried about the mosquito because all of those breeding places are being washed out at this point.
Water's working, so we can wash our hands, but it's cold water. That's the only thing. But we use the sanitizer and stuff, and we're trying to stay as clean as we can.
The town is not under a boil water advisory, but health officials warn if brown water comes out of the tap, do not drink it without boiling first. Another thing residents have to be careful about post-Irene is food consumption.
You're most concerned about getting any type of foodborne illness, something like salmonella from spoiled food, something along those lines. So you also want to adhere to the guidelines of if your refrigerator isn't working or your freezer, you leave your refrigerator door closed. If you do and your refrigerator stays at about 40 degrees or less, your food should be good for about 4 hours.
And for more tips on how to be safe in this cleanup stage, you can go to the State Department of Health's website. Reporting at St. Clair's in Danville, I'm Lisa Wojtycki for WNBC News. Pat Yasko could potentially save a life today. About 1 in 7 people in hospitals need blood, often in life-saving situations. Hurricane Irene has caused donations to plummet after numbers were already down from people going on summer vacations and corporate downsizing.
It's important to give blood. My husband received donations many times, transfusions. It makes a real difference.
From Saturday through Monday, more than 72 blood drives were canceled on the East Coast, 12 of them from the Blood Center of New Jersey. Today, they are desperately trying to make up for it outside Demarest Farms in Hillsdale.
People stopped donating even before the storm because on Friday they were getting ready for the storm. Then We lost Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with the aftermath.
Within the opening of this blood drive today, there have been an influx of people signing up, which is really important. The Blood Center of New Jersey estimates they lost about 400 pints of blood because of Hurricane Irene.
All they have to do is register, fill out a double-sided form, then they get on the bus and they have a short medical history of taking their blood pressure and their iron is tested, and then it takes 6 or 7 minutes for the blood to be taken out, and then we provide some beverages and some nice snacks for them afterwards. So they have to stay on the bloodmobile for a few minutes to have a little snack and a little beverage before they go back out.
The Blood Center of New Jersey, along with the Red Cross and the New York Blood Center, are looking for all blood types and especially O-negative donors because they are the universal donors.
I know how important it is because of the hurricane and just in general. I always know blood donations are low and people need help, so if there's a nice way to make a difference, I'm game for that.
Blood centers are anticipating even more shortages with the 3-day Labor Day weekend ahead. Donors must be at least 16 years old, in good health, and weigh a minimum of 120 pounds. Pam Etzen donated for the first time today. She is one of about 250 people that the Blood Center needs for donations every day.
I feel great. I feel fine. I was a little nervous, but I see how easy and it's fine. I feel great.
Just within the first hour, the blood drive was able to get about 12 pints of blood. So to make up for that lost, about a couple hundred more to go. But after all, Irene is all about the community coming together. Reporting at Demarest Farm, I'm Lisa Wojtycki for WNBC News.